I'm Gil Smith, and I am president of the Montalban Company, LLC in Los Angeles. We own and operate the Montalban Theater on 1615 Vine Street. I've been doing this for about 15 years. We have various shows of comedy, music, conferences, information, and education. We are building within our theater podcast and filmmaking, especially documentary capabilities, to have our own channel eventually. So the Montalban channel on YouTube will be sharing and creating new works. And we have a process down to where we will have entries to designate individuals or teams to create a specific project, and with approvals, we fund it and we move forward. So we're building up our archive. And as part of that, right now, the memories of my experience are being recorded by you. So I really appreciate that. I met Kook and Ronan in 2016, and I actually have a little speech that has why or how we met and why it was the beautiful work that I saw that all of you represent. And it fascinated me that everybody was working in concert with one another. It was a sea change in the art world for me, because in my era, it was a lot of individuals and small teams. And then all of a sudden with CGI and animation, it created larger networks, and the internet created a funnel by which all of this work could be combined and directed by the strong individuals, but it needed larger teams in order to do it efficiently. My work in CGI was in the automotive advertising world back in the 1990s. And I did testing of film versus digital work and CGI, sort of a taste test as to whether or not it could be utilized by the automotive industry for their advertising. It was funny because they were looking to make efficiency and control their goal. And they achieved that, but they themselves achieved a lot of mediocrity because they started taking the soul of the art away from the photographer or from the creative artists. But it's now pushing back. And Motion Plus Design, Kook and Ronan, and all of the people who are part of this, I'd say it's not a party, but it is a celebration of art, and I love to be a part of it. And I'm glad to be in Hollywood at my theater at the Montalban. I think that it was an interesting collision between Paris and Hollywood. The Kook and Ronan were looking to get more visibility with the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences with their trip to Los Angeles. And at the time, there was a significant skirmish between the administration of the Academy and its members because they were trying to trim the broadcast to 2 hours. And in that, the adding categories was not going to be something that the Academy would even consider. So I was able to speak to Ronan and to Kook to make it a celebration onto its own, and it'll be seen, and the education and the exchange and sharing was the most important part. So we went forward with the project. I was not aware at all. But it's very easy when running a theater that you don't see or hear things unless they come inside your theater. I very rarely know what's happening at the Pantages, unless which is a big theater right around the corner from me. I communicate with them, but it's usually when they want to use my theater. I have a rooftop, which is very special. I designed and built it. It's very unique because it's a fitting to an old theater. And I'm in the process of redesigning theater, and motion design is one of those key elements to be able to sustain and repeat year after year that people will remember to come to the Montalban around Oscar week and share. Oh, what is motion design? Motion design, in my description, is the unique advertising and marketing and artistic interpretations of films and or television shows, or whatever the body of work that's generated by motion design, to create a unique character or a color palette, expression of visual. It's a visually immersive media that is still growing, and NFTs are part of that growth process. It's natural now that the artists that are doing motion design are able to now create a commerce and market their work without a client, and the client becomes the public, or becomes the institutions, the hedge funds. There's a lot of different ways of looking at that. So from my standpoint, it's just a very special art form, and my theater is for the celebration of basically motion pictures, independent filmmakers, playwrights. We just finished a play that was a musical for dogs called Pup the True Story. And it's a parody, and there's 8 tunes, and we made a whole weekend of puppy adoptions and dog pictures and musical reading on our stage. So the whole weekend was geared around our beautiful little dogs. So there's the length and breadth of all the work that we do. I am the one who has to say, okay, this is going to do well or not do well. And I don't always make good judgment calls, but if you don't make the call to try it, you don't know if it's going to fail or succeed. And in this case, with Pup the True Story, it's a brand new piece, but I really believe in the man who created it. And he created all of his new advertising. He found the sponsors, and the audience came. We had 2 performances, and just by word of mouth, the audience doubled overnight, just because of social media. So my role right now is to encourage people to come to my house, and my house has a capacity of 1,200 occupants. So it's somewhere in between 1 and 1,200 to come over to my. It's funny because that's how I look at it. It's basically my home. I'm looking forward to your return to Hollywood in March, and I really love the communication between all of us as artists, the new people that I'll be meeting here in Paris. I came here solely to be able to feel how the work is done here, so that when people travel to see our theater, they're going to have the same feeling and emotion that you have here in Paris. And the more we do this in Tokyo and the other satellite groups that are being set up, and by doing these videos, people will become more connected peacefully. That's how I see it. I really see it as being a diplomatic mission of mine.